come to tabletop position and just wag your tailbone left and right, loosening your spine, your low back. And just create some circles with your hips clockwise to start. Really exaggerate the circles here, coming all the way forward and side and back. Shifting your weight onto your palms and then all the way back into your hips, creating nice big circles clockwise, and then we'll rotate counterclockwise. Think of your hips drawing a circle here. So nice big circles. And we'll pause in tabletop. For bird dog, we're going to extend the right leg back, find your balance. Right leg hovers off the ground, point through your toes, and then extend the opposite left arm forward. So you're resting on the left knee and the right hand. Reach through your left arm as you reach back through your right foot. Gaze down. So the right leg is hovering off the ground straight behind you, pointing through the right toes as your left arm reaches forward, opposite direction, off the mat. Most of you are doing it, but a few aren't, so that's why I'm repeating it. Okay, nice. Come back to tabletop. We'll do the opposite side. So now we're going to start by extending the left leg behind, off the ground, point through the toes, straight out behind you, straight leg. And then find your balance here and then begin to extend your opposite right arm forward. You got to use your core muscle here to keep yourself upright, resting on your left palm and right knee. Extend in opposite direction, right hand forward, left leg back. For bird dog. So both your leg and your arm off the ground, hovering in the air. Arm reaches forward, leg reaches back. You're balancing on your left hand and right knee. Nice job, Bob. Okay, come back to tabletop. Shake out your hips. And this is where the fun begins. Come on to your stomachs, everyone. So, I mentioned earlier, we're going to work on some poses today that are going to help with posture. We're starting out with these low back exercises. So let's start with cobra pose. For cobra pose, your legs are going to stay straight back behind you. Rest the tops of your feet on the mat. Legs come together to touch so that tops of your feet are resting down. And then to start, you're going to just rest your forehead on the mat and bend your elbows so that you can place your palms on the outer side of your rib cage. So palms on the mat, on the outer side of your rib cage, fingers facing forward. Elbows are bent so that now when you're going to lift your chest, lift your forehead, and possibly hover your hands as well, so that you're using the strength in your low back to lift yourself, particularly your chest, your rib cage, your forehead off the mat. Hands hover, and you can breathe there for 5 breaths. At this point, you have your feet resting on the ground. If you want, you can try lifting the feet as well, but that will just add another layer to it. So just to repeat, for cobra pose, your hands are flat on the mat, these on the outer side of your rib cage. pressing down, fingers face forward. Elbows are bent, and you can think about squeezing the elbows back as you do this. You're going to lift your forehead, lift your chest, and hover your hands using the strength of your low back to hold yourself upright if you can for 5 breaths here. Breathing. And most of you I cannot see, so I'm just hoping that you're all understanding this. So take a break. This is a hard one. Cobra, another thing I like to do for Cobra is similar thing with your arms, but this time when they're hovering, you can reach them forward, straight forward alongside your ears, and then bring them back to that bent elbow position. Almost like when we do the W's when we're standing, the arms come straight up, and then you bend the elbows out wide. So as you're hovering your chest and forehead off the mat, your arms come forward and then back down. Extend straight forward and then elbows bend, full post arms. This one's really hard too. So you all go at your own pace. As you're doing this, your gaze is down so that you're not kinking your head or neck in any way. So gaze stays forward so the back of their neck is long, and gaze down at the mat as you bring your arms straight over, straight out in front of you, and then bend the elbows, palms face down the whole time. Breathing. Nice job, you guys. Okay, now this next one is called Sphinx pose. This is more of a stretch. So for Sphinx pose, you're going to come and rest up on your elbows and forearms. Your elbows will come right beneath your shoulders, palms flat on the ground, so your arms are parallel to one another, and you're pressing yourself up by using your forearm strength. Press down through your palms. Palms are flat on the ground. This is Sphinx pose. Think of a sphinx. Anyone knows what a sphinx looks like? Basically looking like sphinxes right now. Is that a word? Sphinxes. It's a funny word. Okay, so again, for Sphinx pose, your legs stay the same as Cobra, where they're just straight behind you, flat, top of the feet flat on the ground. And you're propped up on your elbows and forearms. They're parallel to one another. Make sure the elbows are directly under your shoulders and your hands are flat on the ground. So you can hit the ground. Make sure that you're pressing up as you do this. Gaze forward. Sphinx pose. Bring your feet together to touch behind you. Nice. Okay. Slowly come back down. You can rest one side of your head on stacked palms. Just take a moment to breathe. Okay, this next one I'm going to rename. It used to be called Superman, and then it was called Superwoman, and now it's called Super Person. Super Person. We're all going to be super people. So for this, we're going to, how do I explain this one? It's almost like you're flying. So your arms come straight in front of you. You can start by just resting your forehead down on the ground. Your legs will stay behind you straight. And then when you exhale, you're going to lift your feet, lift your knees as much as you can, and then also your arms lift. And you're resting just your hips like you're flying, like you're a super person. And then hold that for a few breaths. Arms and legs lifted, gaze down, head off the ground as well. Squeeze through your glutes. And on your exhale, slowly come down and rest. You're all such super people. Even though I can't see most of you, I think you're there. Few more breaths. We can come back into it, going at your own pace. Maybe find super person one more time. Arms reach forward, legs reach back, lift up. Resting on your pelvis. Palms can face one another as you lift your arms up. Point through your toes, lift your legs and knees. Breathe. Okay, and drop. Come on down. Take a breath and prepare for the next pose, which we've never done. This is called shoulder pigeon. Who comes up with these names? I do not know. So this is going to relieve tightness in your chest and shoulders and hips. It's going to feel probably a little awkward, and that means you're probably doing it right. But again, if it's not feeling good, as in there's pain, then you just skip it. So for shoulder pigeon, we stay on our stomachs to start. You're going to bring our arms out wide to a T, and you're going to rest your left side of your face flat on the ground. From here, we're going to roll over onto our left hip. Keep that left arm out where it was because we're stretching out the front of the left shoulder. So if you started moving your arm, make sure it stays out in that T, palm facing down, and then you're rolling onto your left hip. Your head can rest on the ground for this. And then you're going to take that right foot, bend the right knee, and see if you can rest the foot on the other side of the ground, on the other side of your left leg. Does that make sense? So you're rolling onto your left side, bend the right knee, and take the right sole of the right foot, place it on the ground on the other side of the extended leg. So so that way you can roll over a little more onto your left side. You can use your right hand now to press down into the mat to help you kind of stay there on your side. And you should feel a deep stretch in the left shoulder. This is shoulder pigeon. To come out of this, you're just going to slowly roll back onto your stomach, and we'll do the other side. So now your right arm comes out wide to a T, palm faces down. Turn your head to the left so that the right side of your face is resting on the ground. Use the left hand to kind of assist you in coming onto your right side. Then bend the left knee and place the left foot on the outside of the right leg. So now you're rolling onto your right hip. The left knee is bent, and you are stretching out the right shoulder. And if anyone's super confused by shoulder pigeon, remind me to go through shoulder pigeon with you another day. Shoulder pigeon, drill it into your brain. Shoulder. Okay, slowly come back onto your stomachs, and we're going to make our way onto our feet. So go ahead and press yourself all the way up. Once you find yourself standing, find a nice wide stance, feet are parallel. I'm just going to do a chest opener by interlacing our hands behind our low back. And then press your arms straight back behind you. Lift your hands away from your low back so that you can press back and lift through your chest. Chest opener. Arms, try to see if you can straighten out your arms behind you as your hands stay clasped. You can also do this one by holding onto a piece of fabric if your hands can't stay clasped. A few more breaths in shoulder opener. And then release your hands and shake out your wrists. Do a couple little wrist stretches. Take one hand and press the other palm back. Stretching out the wrists, both hands. And then flip the palm in the opposite direction. Stretch the front of the wrists. And then just go ahead and flex through all your fingers, making little flamenco fingers, twirling them around. Nice job, everyone. And then inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling, interlace your fingers, and press your palms away towards the ceiling. We did this when we were seated. Lift through the chest, gaze up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, we'll lean to the right. Keep your arms straight alongside your ears. Feel a nice stretch through the left side. Inhale back to center and lean to the left. Notice the weight in your feet. See if you can even the weight in both feet. Feel a nice stretch through the right side. Inhale back to center and release your arms down. And we'll just do some shoulder rolls. Draw the shoulders up towards your ears and back. Then reverse the direction. Good, and then we'll do some neck rolls. Gently rolling your head in a circular motion, clockwise to start. Growing the circles. And then reverse the direction. We're going to do the side of our neck, so we'll drop the right ear towards our right shoulder. And as the right ear draws towards the right shoulder, you should feel a stretch in the left side of your neck. You can help draw the head down by placing your right hand on the side of your head to assist the head towards the shoulder. Just be gentle. And then release, and we'll do the other side. Left ear to left shoulder. You can take your left hand to draw the head towards the shoulder. Good, and then slowly bring your head back to center. We'll do some arm circles. So we'll start by bringing your arms out wide to a T and nice big backward circles with your arms. Keep your arms straight. Keep your palms facing down. You can think about your arms being straight out, kind of flex through your arm muscles. Engage the muscles in your arms. If you have floppy arms, it's not going to work as well. So think about stiff arms and then rotate opposite direction. Good, and then drop your arms, and we're going to do our Y's, W's, and T's, these are also great for posture and upper body strength. So for the Y's, we'll start, feet are hip width distance apart, slight bend in your knees, reach your arms straight up overhead, palms face one another. Bend your knees, sink your hips. And then for this Y position, you're just going to press your arms back and release, just your arms. So imagine when the arms are straight, they're alongside your ears. As you press them back, they might just go slightly behind your ears. It's not a very big motion. And then when you release, they come right back to beside your ears. So as you press and release, you're going to start to feel strength building in your shoulders. Arms stay straight. We're not doing the W's. The arms stay straight and they just press back and release. And it's helpful to sink your hips a little here to engage your stomach. Even slightly forward bend. And if you can do 10 to 15 of these, then you can drop your arms, take a break, and then we'll move into the W's. So for W's, same thing with your legs, but with your arms, you're going to reach your arms overhead, palms face forward this time. And then you're going to draw your elbows out wide, bend the elbows 90 degrees so you're making goalpost cactus arms. And then inhale, arms straight, and continue straight and bend your arms for the W's. So the arms straight overhead, and then they bend. Keep your knees bent slightly, hips sink slightly here, chest draws slightly forward so that you're kind of leaning forward as you do this. You might notice a little difference when you do that. Inhale, arms straight, and exhale, bend. You do these for 10 to 20 reps. You're going to feel the burn in your shoulders again. Poor shoulders. And once you're done with those, take a breath. Just one breath, that's all you get. And then back to T's. For T's, you can stand up straight this time. Arms come out wide. This time we're going to flip our palms to face the ceiling. And then we're going to press the arms back and release, keeping the arms straight and parallel to the ground. And you're just going to press them back and release for a set of 10 to 20. Arms stay straight. Whew. Feeling the burn here today. Make sure your palms face the ceiling as you're doing the T's. And when you're done with that, oh, you can release your arms. Doesn't that feel nice? And enough with the arms. Let's go to legs now. Now that our legs are nice and rested. So find a wall or a chair. You have something to help with balance. And since you've all been working so hard, let's just be nice and do a little ankle roll. So you can start with your right, roll out your right ankle, rolling onto the front of the toes as well. Roll both directions. And then flip to the left foot. Pull out the left ankle. Good. And now we're going to start with some leg lifts. So let's start with our right leg out to the side. You can hold on to the table or chair if you need to. And the right leg is going to lift out to the side and back down. Both your feet face forward. for a set of 10 to 20. Keep your torso steady. Use the strength in your standing leg to help lift your right leg out to the side and down. A nice, slow, controlled movement. We're not just flicking our leg out and seeing how it lands. So control the movement the whole time. If you're holding on to something for balance, see if you can explore what it's like to hold on to with maybe one hand versus two, a few fingers versus all your hand, because they will help with your balance as well. And once you're done with the right, switch and do the same thing on the left side. Leg lifts on the left. Working the outer glutes. Nice job, guys. Take a break once you've done both legs. And then we're going to transfer to forward leg lifts. So for these, you're going to basically do a similar type of thing where you lift your leg forward and down, kick through the heel, right leg to start. See how high you can lift your leg without just kicking it up. You kind of want to, again, use the strength here to lift your leg, control, and back down. Use the strength in your core. Kick through your heel, legs straight. Set of 10 to 20 on each side. You can hold on to the table or chair or wall for this so that you don't lose your balance. Even out both sides. And then we're going to do some squats. So for squats, we're going to take a nice wide stance and turn your feet out so your toes are pointing out. And then you can keep your hands pressed palms together at the center of your chest, or you can keep them on your hips. And you're just going to squat down, bend your knees, and then straighten, bend and straighten, squat and stand, up and down, bumpity boo, for 10 to 20. Do, do, oompa, doompa, doompity, do. Feel like a Oompa Loompa here. Okay, keep on going. Use the strength in your glutes and your quads to squat low and stand. You don't need to get super low if it's hard on your knees. Keep a nice straight back. The wider the stance, the more it'll work the inner thighs. And wherever you are, maybe take 2 or 3 more, and then take a break by standing nice and tall. Nice job, everyone. Okay, I think I'm ready to collapse on my mat with you all. So let's come back to our mat, and we'll lay on our back and not move for the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes of class. No, I'm just kidding. We got more work to do. Okay, so come nice and laying on your back. We're going to bend our knees, place the soles of your feet flat on the ground. Arms can come out wide to a T, and we're just going to do windshield wipers here to loosen up our low back. So knees will fall all the way to the left, and then lift and let them drop to the right. Lift and to the left, lift and and to the right. The feet stay flat on the ground, and it's just the knees that fall from side to side. The feet can be nice and wide for this. Good, and then bring them back to center and hug your knees in towards your chest. Hands can come around the front of your shins, create a nice tight ball. And then just rock from left to right. Massage your low back on the mat. Good, and then allow your feet to be flat on the mat, knees bent. And we're going to do bridge pose. So for bridge pose, place your hands alongside your hips, palms face down. Arms are straight, resting down at your sides. See if you can feel the backs of your heels with your fingertips. If you can't, then you need to scoot your bum forward so that you can feel your backs of your heels with your fingertips. You might have to kind of press your hips up and scoot your booty forward. Okay, and then feet are parallel to one another, about hip width distance apart. You're going to keep your feet flat on the ground, your palms flat down, and you're just going to lift your hips up. As you lift your hips up, squeeze your glutes. Your head is resting down on the mat, and you're just lifting your hips towards the ceiling. Pause there for 5 breaths. Feel the inner thighs engage. Feel your glutes working. Your quadriceps getting a nice stretch. Go back. When you're ready, you can slowly roll down one vertebra at a time back onto your back. And then squeeze your right knee in towards your chest. Hands interlace around the front of the right shin. Press the left heel away from you. Chin draws towards your chest, creating length in the back of your neck. Squeeze your elbows in. Both your hands interlace around the front of the right shin. Squeezing the right knee to the outside of your right rib cage for a few more breaths. You'll feel restriction in the right hip flexor. And then on your next exhale, release the leg all the way back down. Just take a breath and notice the right and the left hip flexor here. Feeling the blood rushing back into the right side. And now we'll switch to the left. So squeeze the left knee in towards your outer rib cage. Hands interlaced around the front of the left shin. Flex through both feet. Press the right heel away from you. Squeeze your elbows towards the midline of your body. Chin towards chest. Few breaths here, squeezing the left knee towards the outside of your left rib cage. Feeling the restriction in your left hip flexor. The right leg is straight down on the ground. A few more breaths. And then slowly release your leg down flat on the ground. Feel the blood rushing back into the left hip flexor. And then we're going to lift our legs up towards the ceiling. Legs are straight. Allowing the blood to rush down from your feet. Legs straight up. And then if you want to add some abdominal crunches to this, you can place the hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers, elbows out wide, and you're just going to lift your head and back, shoulders up towards the ground, or sorry, up towards the ground, up towards the ceiling, and back down. Lift and lower, little crunches. Your legs can stay straight up. And we're just lifting our head, neck, shoulders off the ground and back down for small little crunches here. Elbows stay out wide. You can do 10 of these, that would be great. Once you've had enough of those crunches, go ahead and we're going to do one more windshield wiper pose. Bend your knees and allow your knees to fall from side to side. And we can't end a class without my favorite supine twist. So we're going to do our final supine twist. We'll start by allowing your left leg to drop down on the mat. Squeeze your right knee in towards your chest, and then draw that right knee across your body and over to the left. Here we're twisting our spine. The right arm extends out to the side with the palm facing the ceiling. You can take your left hand and assist the right knee towards the ground by just letting the hand rest on the outside of the right knee. And then turn your head towards your extended right arm. Press the right shoulder blade down. Feel a nice twist in your spine. You rest here. So, supine twist, I'm going to get real detailed here in the description because some of you are still learning this. So let's transition into the other side, and we'll start by just allowing both legs to drop straight down. Bring your arms out wide to a T. Bend the left knee. Take the right hand and now place it on the outside of the left knee and begin to draw the left knee across your body and over to the right. Left arm is down, flat on the ground, straight out with the palm facing up. You're going to turn your head towards that extended left arm. Continue to draw that other top knee down towards the ground. So you're twisting your spine in opposite direction. As you're gazing towards that left arm, press the left shoulder blade down. Continue to take that right hand and press the top left knee towards the ground over to the right. You should feel nice and twisted here in your spine. Nice job, everyone. Few breaths. This is just a juicy stretch for your spine. Bring it out. And when you're ready, come back. Center. Maybe give yourself one final hug. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Rock from side to side. And then the most important pose of all, Shavasana. This is really an important part of practice, is learning how to be still. Being in the stillness here, you're going to allow your body to absorb the benefits of all the poses today. So lying on your back, legs take up as much space as you need. Same with your arms. Palms face the ceiling. You can place a pillow or a blanket under your head. Just find a nice, comfortable position lying on your back. And then close your eyes. Again, beginning to tap back into your breath. Feel the rise and fall of each breath. You find that your thoughts are wandering. Place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart, focusing on the rise and fall of each breath. A few more moments here, continuing to breathe, relax. And begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees. Place the soles of your feet on the mat. And then roll yourself over to one side. Press yourself up seated. Come to your comfortable seat. Bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Prayer position. Close your eyes, bow down. Namaste. All for coming today and sharing practice with me. Hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. All big virtual hugs. And not sure if you're hearing anything because of the silly music that I wanted to try. Thank you all.